When you see an Instagram post, which one stops you in your tracks? Is it the one where you see a gorgeous woman or an incredibly handsome man and they're celebrating, or they're traveling, or they're doing something that you wish that you could be doing, either right now or anytime in your life? They just did their job, right? Instagram is all about marketing, and the objective of marketing is to catch your attention and make you want that. What if I told you that most of it isn't real? But also, if you want it, I have to ask you a question. What are you doing to achieve that? You see, we've found that after 6 decades of experience, if you really want something, you have to create a plan. Just wanting something is a dream, but wanting it and creating a plan to achieve it, that's something that has a chance of becoming a reality. So, what is it that you want? Do you want to travel? Do you want to retire? Most people want to do both. The problem is, unless you have a trust fund or a rich uncle who left you a ton of money, or you won lottery, most of us don't have enough money during our working years to do it all. But the question that I'm going to ask you is, are you prioritizing correctly? Look at the money that you're spending on a weekly basis. If you look back over the past 10 years and recaptured every dollar that you've spent on stupid stuff, how much money would you have today? I recently heard an idea that made a lot of sense. Let's say you want a new car, but a used car costs $300 per month less. So buy the used car and save the $300 every month instead. Every 3 to 4 years, get yourself a new used car and keep saving the $300, or more if the difference is more. Did you know that if you're 30 years old and you started doing this today, that at 60 years old, you would have an account worth $286,000? And that's just assuming you got a 6% return on your money over the last 30 years. You've heard the magic of compound interest, right? The sooner you start, the better it works for you. Well, let's assume that Jane decides to start saving $2,000 when she's 19 years old, but she only does it for 8 years. She stops adding money to the account when she's 26, but it continues to grow. Her twin brother, Mark, doesn't start saving until he's 27, but then he diligently saves $2,000 every year until he's 65 years old. Okay, who has more money? Lisa only saved $16,000 and Mark saved $78,000, but because Lisa had the advantage of her $16,000 compounding for 38 years, her balance is $1,035,000, while Mark, his balance is only $883,000. What should you take away from this story? Well, a couple of things. If you want something, I suggest that you create a plan and execute it. But also, how bad do you want it and what are you willing to give up? And when you refocus your priorities, will it actually feel like you're giving up so that you can achieve it? Also, and most importantly, the thing that you must take advantage of is time. The sooner you get started, the more you will have. Most people don't like saving for retirement in their 20s because retirement seems like an eternity away. You can't imagine what that would even look like. And then when they're in their 30s, they still don't prioritize saving for the future, mostly because they just secured the good job and they're trying to get the spouse and the house. At 40, they don't prioritize, probably because they haven't created the habit, and now they're trying to keep the spouse, keep the house, and they probably have a few kids that are getting more expensive every year. Okay, so now they're 50 and retirement is getting closer, and you're ready to do something about it. Sorry, Charlie, you have fewer years and probably not enough discretionary dollars to make it happen, at least not in any reasonable period of time. And this is where the majority of American workers are today. They've simply not prioritized saving in their golden years soon enough. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that the government is waiting in the sidelines to take 30 to 50% of every dollar that you've saved in your retirement account. What is a person to do? Well, prioritize you, not just with your luxuries or lifestyles, but with paying yourself first. When you determine how much you make, Then take 20% right off the top and put that away. Learn to live on the 80% that's left, and probably more like 50 or 60 after taxes. Budget your living expenses around that. If you make a habit of paying yourself from day one, you won't care if you're getting Social Security or a pension from a company that might take it away. You'll have enough money to take care of yourself, and quite nicely, I might add. Let's assume that you make $50,000 a year starting at age 30. You get a 2% cost of living increase every year, and you save 20% of that salary with increases religiously into a tax-free vehicle until age 60. What could it be worth? Well, the account would be worth $1,213,000, and that's just assuming a 6% compound rate of return. But if you were lucky and smart enough to start saving that at 25, and you saved religiously for 36 years, also ending at age 60, your balance would be $1.7 million. You see, time helps. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, that's 36 years from now, and the dollar will be worth less. And while that is likely true, if you don't start saving, you'll not only have less, but the dollar will be worth less, and you won't be any happier. Listen, don't let time or priorities derail your success. Start now, make a plan, and create the goals that you want.